non-public school. A non-public school is a school for students with disabilities. So I have students at my school who are autistic, emotionally disturbed, etc. And a third illegal marijuana dispensary was opened around the corner from my school. This is a third one that's opened in the last 2 years. I have spent numerous hours along with the community and the church to close the first two. Last week, a permit was issued and another one opened. And the reason I came is because I found a lot of these bottles in my schoolyard, and one little kid came up and said, "Miss Ingram, marijuana, Miss Ingram, marijuana." So, I'm here to find out if there are any steps that you know about that can escalate closing this particular one. It took me and the community 1 year to close the first one. They reopened it. It took only about 6 months. One just reopened. So I need to be spending time like this morning with my students. But I came here to bring this to your attention. I mean, there are lots of other places in LA, and there is legislation that states that they should not be open within a certain amount, with a certain number of feet. But they are. There's one just right across the street from my school. We smell it. When I cleaned out my one student about this, and I swept in front of my school this morning, and there are lots of these because they come and they just throw on the ground. So, can any of you give me any advice as to how I can escalate getting this third one closed? I don't have a personal opinion against these dispensaries. I just don't think they should be around schools.
Ma'am,
So,
Chief Moore in the back corner there will get a police officer to talk to you and get your information.
Girl, don't talk to him. He a liar. Don't talk to him. He a liar. He ain't gonna have nobody call you or talk to you. He a liar. He a liar, girl. You wasting your time talking to him. He gonna sit and tell you a whole bunch of lies.
You need to know I'm not giving my personal opinion on whether for or against. I said it should not be around students, particularly students with disabilities, and they should throw them in my schoolyard.
They not gonna do nothing though.
So I'm not saying
They not gonna do nothing.
saying for or against. I'm just here to let you know that they should not be across the street.
Well, don't talk to Moore's sister because he a liar.
For students with disabilities who don't understand everything.
See how they shut you up? Wrong man to talk to.
DA.
Greetings, my name is DA. I'm a local Rastafarian. Today I will speak about why racist white policing seems legitimate. Mental images that are not accurate pervade this society. The assassination of black male character, which began with William Shakespeare's play Othello, is one forced mental image which goes way beyond common sense. Another myth is that white empire is needed for genteel civilization to exist. The reality is that the first universities in Europe were created by black people, the Moors. The Moors ruled much of southern Europe for 800 years. They were then reduced to being part of the first wave of slaves brought to America after they fell in 1491. The reality is also that the cycle of empire between the races ends now with us hippies, black and white, and Latino and Asian and Middle Eastern. And unless there be any question as to who the bad guys are, it's imperialism, white racist empire.
Charlie back.
17,000 children starve to death on average every day in the third world. The CIA and the World Bank purposely break the economies in those countries by creating cost overruns on large civic projects like the building of bridges and dams in order to purposely cause famine to try and weaken imperial competition. It is the biggest war in the world. In the news, the term third world debt is the euphemism used to describe that war. The secrets of the American empire are coming back to haunt it, while false mental images of a Yankee Doodle idealism fill the heads of those not willing to process the information coming into their heads, but who instead take that information in blindly. That same CIA, LAPD jingoist philosophy killed 16-year-old Jose Mendez, who was murdered by LAPD officers on February 6, 2016 in Boyle Heights. His body was dragged by the perpetrators apparently to cover up their crime. Loyalty to policing with no regard for principles and standards leads to a society that is chaotic, undisciplined, and fed up. Secret
Oh, you
policies of
leaving?
state violence create
You
backlash.
leaving?
The secret police state has the LAPD as its local.
You ain't leaving with your bodyguards, you bitch. You's a bitch, Chief
Cooperation
Betty.
and
Always leaving. Fire Charlie back! Fire Charlie back! Fire Charlie back! Fire Charlie back! Fire Charlie back!
Thank you.
Fire Charlie back!
Ms. Jenkins, please.
And I'm going to add to that, no secret police.
No secret police! No secret police! No. Why you always letting me run, Mr. Johnson? And always putting this liar sitting up here in the spot. The laser man. How your laser program going? Who the next kid gonna die?
Mr. Jenkins, this time.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Put it up order so Mr. Jenkins can have this time.
Francis Jenkins, published a City Life newsletter, activist since 1991. You know, for a long time, I continued to say that that they're gonna actually hit us, and they're gonna hit us hard.
We don't care.
And,
We don't care. We don't care. We don't care about that. Let them hit them.
Hold the clock.
Good. They should hit you too. Why they hitting them, they should hit you too. You need to get you a seat on the other side of that board. Nobody don't want to hear that bullshit you talking about.
Public comment is an opportunity for everyone in the public to have their opportunity to speak.
So what?
So if you're going to interrupt.
So what? He's not talking about nothing. We don't want to hear about nobody bombing y'all. I hope they bomb y'all.
To decide that.
So I can just okay, it ain't up to you to decide to kill my kid. That part. So shut up talking to me.
Every member of the
Shit.
public.
I don't care what you say.
Right during public comment.
Don't care.
2 minutes to talk about
Don't
whatever
care.
they want without being interrupted.
Don't care.
I understand.
Stop stuttering.
Give Mr. Jenkins his time.
Thank you.
Sorry for the interruption.
Thank you, President Johnson. I've been in the activism business for a long time. And I was one of the most radical, right? So, one of the things that I learned was it's important to build bridges, right? And while I was one of the radical activism, my other brothers were building bridges, right? And the way I'm going to build a bridge today is I'm going to sing this song that's in my head.
Oh Lord.
I got you under my skin.
This the shit you want us to listen to, right? And you over there want to laugh your damn self.
You're really a part of me. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Thank you. I tried so.
And this is what you want us to listen to, right? But you gonna sit here and let him sing this bullshit asshole because he got you.
So well.
Set your child.
But why was I
Set your child. Then terrible. Then terrible.
I'll sacrifice anything for what my good things.
16, 15, 14.
Comes to the night, it repeats in my head. Don't you know you
No, we don't.
never can win. Use your mentality.
All right, time up. Your time is up, sir.
Thank you, folks. I'll be here all week.
It's really not funny.
It's not funny.
I never laugh.
I don't even know what the fuck is so funny.
Anybody knows me, know I ain't laughing.
Public comment is not for people to come in and say what I want to hear. It is not for people to come in and say what you want to hear.
So why you was laughing then?
It is for anyone.
Yeah, that part, because that song
Any
was
member
funny
of
to
the
you too.
public to come in and have
What?
2 minutes to speak to this board. 2 minutes to speak to this board. If anyone interrupts the public hearings again, I'm going
I'm gonna ask you to move. That's your favorite line. I'm gonna ask you to
Please
leave.
give
Won't
the
you
other
leave?
speakers, ma'am, please. I understand.
You don't understand nothing. You don't. That's right. You don't understand. You right. You don't understand. Man,
Out of your mouth, right?
you wanted to sit up here and listen to some bullshit ass singer. Y'all killed my son and y'all can't tell me nothing, but I'm supposed to be up here. Oh, Mr. Johnson. Fuck Mr. Johnson. Yeah, that part.
Right there.
If you want to have a private meeting with me.
Oh, yeah, I do. I know when. When can I have a private meeting with you?
We can do it today.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, too.
You're free at 1 o'clock today.
Oh, you free?
But she didn't get her phone call back.
Exactly.
Are you free at 1 o'clock today?
I'm free every day.
Okay,
I'm going to be free until y'all can tell me why y'all killed my son. That part, yeah. Don't look at him, Mr.
I'm
Morris.
asking for respect.
Why is you looking at him?
Everyone who's bothered to come down here, to have the inconvenience of taking the time to come down here.
It ain't
to address
inconvenience.
this board.
We want
to
justice.
give them
This is
their moment of
We
time.
want justice.
I'm talking about the inconvenience for the public speakers that are here to give them their moment of time. Thank you, and sorry for holding this up.
Good morning. On August 20th of this year at 8:30 a.m., I executed all the steps that were required by law to make certain that my valid restraining order was duly served. However, due to the officers from the Wilshire station, my restraining order was not enforced, and as a result, I was attacked, I was beaten, and in an effort to cover up their reckless actions, falsely arrested by officers who were supposed to protect me and enforce my restraining order. The watch commander on August 20th was Sergeant McNulty, who arrogantly declared that he had made an executive decision not to enforce my restraining order. He also stated that he ignored my restraining order and ordered my arrest because, and I quote, "I told you I would take care of this on Monday. But I hear that you called to complain that she violated the restraining order not once, but twice. And someone said, the dispatcher said you called, or some woman called screaming. In short, I, a person who has no criminal history, never been arrested before, acted to the letter of the law, was falsely arrested on August 20th after having a valid restraining order served for exercising my rights and being a pest. Yes, I called 911. Screaming for help because the defendant named in my restraining order snuck up behind me, pushed me to the ground in a dark garage, and closed the gate to the back of my property, of which he was the only one to have access to, before beating me ferociously. And yes, I have videos and photos to corroborate my story, none of which McNulty or his officers were interested in seeing. As trying as my experience has been, I feel fortunate that I didn't end up like countless other women before me who are dead because the all-male officers who responded to their 911 calls ignored their duty to enforce a restraining order, trivialized their situation as either a domestic dispute or some family matter, and made them feel like pests and irritating women who can't follow directions when a man in charge tells them to put their fears on hold till Monday, until he and his men, who they believe know better than a judge, figure out what to do. I'm just baffled as to why in 2016, women are still made to feel like chattel, who have to relinquish their rights and their well-being to men, and in the case of the Wilshire Division, not very bright men. It was only after I met a female officer, not from the Wilshire Division, was my restraining order finally enforced. She told me to go to Internal Affairs. On August 24th, Internal Affairs agreed that my rights were breached. They called Wilshire Division and had them enforce my restraining order. However, as another act of defiance, the watch commander, Sergeant Churchill, called the commissioner who signed my restraining order and attempted to have it nullified. Had it not been for the sergeant from Internal Affairs, I would have never known that Sergeant Churchill attempted to influence a commissioner against me, nor would I have known that the commissioner scheduled a hearing the next day.
Corruption.
The bottom line is my restraining order was never nullified, as the minute orders from the hearings demonstrate. Yet, to this day, the officers at the Wilshire Division are still promulgating the lie that my restraining order was nullified. The felony, yes, felony, that Sergeants McNulty and Gorby falsely charged me with was rejected by the DA, yet cost me $5,000 in bail, expenses, loss of reputation and work, as well as a great deal of mental anguish. On top of that, the officers of the Wilshire Division to this day have steadfastly refused to arrest the defendant, even when she violated the no-contact provision of the restraining order on August 21st and 26th, and entered my home and stole items and money in front of 2 witnesses on August 31st. The officers...
I'm going to have Chief Moore have someone speak to it and get all of the
He handles marijuana and,
You must hold the broom and one must hold the rug, right?
The whole damn system is guilty as
How can I or anyone in the city of Los Angeles have confidence in the LAPD when officers of the Wilson Division act like a gang of thugs who only protect their own friends? How can I or anyone in the city of Los Angeles have confidence in the LAPD when women's problems are reduced to domestic disputes and family matters that they need to figure out? And unfortunately, as a black woman, I didn't have the luxury of figuring it out in my trivial family matter in my own home because Sergeant McNulty concluded, informed only by a narrow view of black women as bellicose, belligerent people, that he could not trust me to act like an adult. Those are his words. Thus,
Thank you for coming down. I promise you we will look into it. We'll have someone speak to you right now. So we still try to get it.
If you would talk with Lieutenant Chris Waters there, she will take down your information. I understand there's a complaint investigation, but we will follow up.
You a lie?
Isn't that what we're doing?
He lying to you. He lying, girl.
So we have to relinquish these
Ma'am,
guys to come to you?
if you would, we'd like to handle this right now. If you would walk right back to that door, Lieutenant Chris Waters will
Tell
help.
us if they follow through.
They not.
Michael Williams. Sheila Hines. Jojo Smith. Jasmine Abdullah.
My name is Sheila Hines, and I'm the auntie of Waukesha Wilson. We're here again. It's 6 months now. Charlie Beck, he always leaves because he look out here and he sees the Hines family. And he doesn't want to answer any questions because he knows that he has lied about the altercation that happened in Los Angeles Metropolitan Detention Center with Waukesha, my niece, and a jailer or a police officer or somebody. He lied. He failed to talk to his detectives first. But we got a hold to his detectives first, and they told us the whole story. So yes, he is a liar, and I want to confront him. This is my niece. And y'all can try to tear down her name. You already killed her. But I'm not going to let you guys just keep saying suicide.
Right.
And we know that didn't happen. It's too many holes in the stories. There's too many lies. And if it was suicide, why is it still an investigation? What you looking for? You got the telephone cord. You got the documentation from the hospital or wherever you said she was transferred to. You got all that information. Why is it taking 6 months? On the 27th, it'll be 6 months. Let me tell you something. My niece and I were very close. We have similarities. In no way on my birthday, March 27th, would she not miss calling me. She wouldn't do that. So something very serious happened during that morning after she talked to her mother in high spirits.
Something in foul play.
Yeah, there is foul play. But we know you guys not gonna answer the question, but we're gonna come every Tuesday. We want you to see her face. We want you to know her name. We want you to get
Say her name!
Waukesha Wilson!
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 Thank you for
what we want.
Justice! Justice! Now!
That's what we want you.
Say her name! Lakeisha Wilson! 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 Lakeisha Wilson! Say her name! 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 Lakeisha Wilson! You the first one to jump up. All the
Because
time.
he had a smile on his damn face. I'm sick and tired of you guys sitting up here with a smile, a smirk on your face. What's funny about killing a human being?
Right. A mother, a daughter.
They don't care.
niece.
It ain't none of their family.
Her son had to live without a mother.
Where's the liaison for your families?
Yeah.
Huh. That
Well, you
part.
gotta.
And don't, this cockamamie